Richard Paul Evans is a #1 best-selling author, and his books have all ended up on the New York Times bestseller list. And he has a new audience now, and his second book in a series for teens just came out. The second book is called Michael Vey 2, The Rise of Elgin. And Richard Paul Evans is our guest this morning. Richard, it's good to meet you.
It's good to be here.
Thank you so much for coming in. You've been writing books for 20 years now.
20 years ago, I wrote my first book called The Christmas Box.
The Christmas Box. And what was that one about?
That was a Christmas story I wrote for my daughter. That was 8 million copies ago.
How about that? That is absolutely fantastic. So you've had a great career in writing, and you have not. And right now, you're writing these books, the Michael Vey books. But you have not always written for a teen audience, is that correct?
Never written for a teen audience.
Never written for a teen audience.
I decided the YA market, the young adult market, had gotten so dark that I wanted to write something that parents could feel good about picking up, but it also was exciting for kids. And so I wrote this book called Michael Vey about a 15-year-old boy with Tourette syndrome who has electrical powers, and had trouble finding a publisher. I mean, after all these bestsellers, had trouble finding a publisher, and it actually got picked up by Glenn Beck, the radio show host.
How about that?
Yeah, and he fell in love with it and brought it out, hit #1 on the New York Times, and we actually did a test market here in Dayton, which is why I'm here. The Miami Valley School, we brought into the students, and they voted as one of the best books they'd ever read. And so one of three cities in America. We started out here in Dayton.
Well, that's great. I didn't know you had that connection with Dayton. So that's very interesting.
I've been coming to Dayton for gosh, about 17 years. I love Dayton.
Well, this is my first time meeting you, and so it's about a boy that he's electric. You say
He has
and I apologize, I didn't get a chance to read. I didn't get a chance to read the book before I had a chance to talk to you.
He has electrical powers. You know, there's no wizards and there's no vampires in the book. He has electrical powers, but he's one of 17 electric children. Each have different electric powers. So it's a fun ride, and so the book's doing extremely well, and it's getting kids to read. Kids who I hear every day, parents. My first signing, the line was 1/4 mile long. And parent after parent saying, "My kid put his video game down to read your book. I can't believe it."
Yeah. So when you're targeting an audience like that, how much does your mindset have to change or stay focused during the course of writing the book to think, this is my audience. These are the people that I have to super serve?
Hardly none. I mean, people say this is so different. My novels are inspirational and so different from what I usually write. But people who know me know that I love comic books. I love the Spider-Man, Iron Man, Avengers. So writing this book just came natural. I wrote what I wanted to read. So
this is probably a way too long story for right now. But how did you get hooked up with Glenn Beck?
Well, I had been on his show many times. And so what happened, someone called about the book, called about another book, and I said, I wrote this young adult thriller, no one wants it, would you like to read it? Glenn's agent sent it out to him, walked across the street and gave it to a 13-year-old boy and said, get back to me in a week when you finish it, let me know. The kid came over the next day, he'd stayed up all night reading it, handed it back to him and said, that's the best book I've ever read. And that's where it started.
And the rest is history. Well, Richard Paul Evans, you've got a book signing tonight, and it starts at 7 o'clock, Books and Company at the Green. For more on his books, you can go to our website, fox45now.com, and click on Fox 45 in the morning. Richard Evans, great to meet you.
Nice to be here.
Thanks so much for coming in, and best of luck. I mean, you're doing great already. So,
Well, thank you.
All right.